I just want to express my deep gratitude for the seriousness with which you're approaching our industry and how you're actually helping guide it in the right direction. I've worked with many central banks in other countries, and when I was working there, I was wondering why I, as an American citizen, can't help the United States financial system reach this higher level that the world is on course towards generally. And so I'm very grateful that finally there's been a new level of kind of common sense and adoption of these ideas. Me and the other people in this room do believe that the crypto, blockchain, Web3 infrastructure is the next iteration of the financial system. And I think that the US should have its leadership position continue in that new financial system. And I'm very, very happy to see people like David Sachs, Secretary Bessent, Secretary Lutnick taking this very seriously with their time, and very grateful to them too. So I'm just overjoyed to see this. And I think it is a big part of how the U.S. can continue its role in the global financial system. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
The bulls are back in town. And you know what? Liberation Day and these tariffs have scared the out of the markets. But guess what? That's right. Our bags are still there, folks. Chainlink still holding on to the number 11 spot, showing an immense amount of strength in the face of all of these tariffs and the conversation of an altcoin season that was never to come. This is what happens when you have an insanely strong project with strong fundamentals that's plugged into the biggest market controllers across the planet, that being the Treasury, the New York Fed, and so many more, not to mention Swift, just a couple ones. If you want to keep up to date with all of the alpha in Chainlink, then make sure to follow me on my Twitter at DruthCrypto. It's a great time had by all. Now, what is the big announcement? What's the big connection between the Treasury and Chainlink? On top of Swift, could it get any better? Well, guess what? It does, because we have this coming out of the digital chamber. They are thrilled to welcome Chainlink Labs as one of the new executive committee members of the TDC. Chainlink, the backbone of the blockchain global standard, connecting blockchains to real-world data and other blockchains along with government and enterprise systems. So ask yourselves, okay, great. Chainlink's had 100, if not thousands of partnerships. Why does this partnership matter at all? Well, let's dig into it. What is the Digital Chamber? You can check them out on Twitter at Digital Chamber here, but you go into their website to find what they're all about. They've been advocating for blockchain since 2014, led by policy and innovation, advancing pro-innovation legislation, really hitting it from a legislative level and connecting all of the dots between the Treasury and what is the existing system of crypto so that the United States doesn't get left behind as this advancement rolls out. And you really dig into what they've been up to here. It has kind of the roadmap of 2014 all the way up to present, but something very, very key happened in 2018. The U.S. Treasury appointed the Digital Chamber as the first and only digital asset organization on the Bank Secrecy Act Advisory Group, a massive, massive deal. They also were key in stopping Operation Choke Point 2.0 that was trying to find inroads through the Treasury by blocking the U.S. Treasury's attempt to restrict the use of self-hosted wallets. They have been fighting tooth and nail for our right to self-custody crypto and to keep the Treasury in the know on how the world of finance is moving all through the time frame of Operation Choke Point 2.0, a key figure in keeping the conversation of crypto at the forefront. And we talk about their connection to the Treasury and how they successfully have opened the eyes to the likes of now in control Scott Bessent, who's leading the Treasury. We have a key thing to keep in mind. We had this from the New York Fed that we went over a few months ago, but internal scripting at the New York Fed for the Chainlink external adapters. All of the systems for these treasuries and New York Fed and Swift are built in to operate and utilize Chainlink for data aggregation and understanding what the crypto market's true value is in live time. Something very, very key that I think we get ahead of ourselves in crypto, thinking that we're just going to hop from Web 2 to Web 3 immediately. No, you need a communication system between the two existing systems to really make it happen. And that is where Chainlink and the CCIP come into play. In the last month or two of a short-term price correction, people have flipped bearish, which I think is absolutely crazy. And it's all been on the heels of these tariff shocks. Well, Trump came out today talking about the tariff conversations are going well and everybody wants to negotiate. Well, everybody except for this man, China. China is not so thrilled. They are threatening to take action against countries siding with the United States in this trade war. But guess what? The conversations are already happening from some of the key players in Southeast Asia, especially like South Korea, Japan, and India. major parts of the Southeast Asian economies. Now, with this aggravation comes potential news of China selling over 15,000 Bitcoin, opting instead to buy a record amount of gold, with gold hitting all-time highs today at $3,430. This has made Paxos shine bright, as it is a asset backed by gold, and it is absolutely flying today. But Bitcoin will have its time, folks, and here's what I think we're looking at. We have the M2 money supply and a comparison to global liquidity that I think we need to take a look at here. So the top model is the 78-day lag of the M2 money supply compared to Bitcoin's price action. It's argued on which one of these graphs is more accurate. Now, if we take a close look at the 78-day money lag, it does appear like Bitcoin is bouncing off this original bottoming out. I am of the opinion, actually, that we are more closely relating Bitcoin's price to the 108-day lag time, which gives us another chance for a bounce back down, a little formation of a W pattern on Bitcoin's price before we actually start to move on up from there, which correlates better with the June rate cut conversation that's been had out of the Federal Reserve. Regardless of this, central banks are once again at it again, as highlighted by the massive and excellent Twitter account of Discover Crypto here. Huge. Central banks are printing again, folks. Money printers love to print, and the global M2 money supply is expanding at the fastest rate since 2020. Your money could be in Bitcoin with 21 million forever, or your money can be counted into infinity, being at the behest of the money printers that will constantly print their way out of short-term problems. You can make your choice from that. Here's a highlight from the M2 money supply in the US, Japan's M2, which is close to all-time highs, China's M2 going burr, and the European M2, which we all know the European and Chinese economies are in a massive turmoil point right now. I think Japan's is one that it will more closely tie in with these trade negotiations with the US, and actually doesn't look that bad if you're really looking at it from the outside looking in. And where we are in terms of price action for Chainlink, I feel like this is a generational buying opportunity. What we have here is a general market structure that does show similar patterns to what we'd seen in the past. We check it out pre-halving, we had a small pump and then just an up and to the right accumulation moment here in 2020 of April. Now, what I'm looking at right now, that initial pump and then the accumulation range afterwards, I feel like where we are with this price action currently is very similar to what we saw in August of 2020. In this latest pullback of Chainlink and Bitcoin, I have never been more sure that these assets are here to stay. It's about taking profits in the altcoins and rolling it back into Bitcoin to increase the stack. That's what the game is all about. A shout out to anyone that's out there watching what's actually happening with the Treasury, Trump's administration in this pro-crypto policy, and Bitcoin's worldwide adoption, as there is no stopping this train. It's only about when you get on and you get the crypto you have at the price you deserve, folks. Let me know your favorite projects down in the comments below so I can take a look at them. But honestly, this buying opportunity, I haven't felt like buying Chainlink in a very long time. Seeing Chainlink break down to the $13 range, I am now once again a buyer. But love and appreciate every single one of you out there. And make sure to share this message out with a friend so they can know what the hell's going on with crypto, and keep your crypto safe on an Arculus cold storage wallet. And if you're out there trading with me, use our link in our description for the L Bank trading competition. We have $6,000 worth of prizes that'll be devised specifically within the Discover Crypto BitLab Academy and Blockchain Basement community. So you're not out there fighting against the whole world. It's literally a trading competition that's all volume based within our community specifically. So huge shout out to them for doing that. And I'll see you at the top. Take care.